Okay, so this video is for everyone who has ever commented on all of my videos in the past month asking me, hey, I want to get back into World of Warcraft Classic. I have no idea where to go. We have so many different versions of the game. This video is for you. I'm going to give you a quick breakdown of every version of WoW, and then you can pick which one is right for you. And this really has been an ongoing comment on literally all of my videos over the past few months. I have a lot of people wanting to get back into WoW. Maybe they started in the beginning of SOD or started back in 2019 and stopped after TBC. I have so many people that want to come back to the game and they have no idea where to start because we have so many different versions of WoW currently, right? Let's go over all of the different versions that we have. We have Classic Era, which is World of Warcraft Classic as it was in the last patch of the 2019 version of Classic. It's stuck in the Nax phase. There's GDKPs allowed. There's people running GDKPs and raids all day long. It is a very small but healthy population for whoever is on there. Then we have the seasonal version of WoW, which currently is Season of Discovery, right? World of Warcraft Season of Discovery. This ran from November 30th, I think, in 2023, all the way up until now. It's in the last phase. It's starting to get some sort of a drop-off. I'll show you guys all the numbers in a little bit. It's a very, almost like a modded version of WoW. It's like classic vanilla WoW with a bunch of abilities and spells from later versions like Wrath and Cataclysm. PvP scene on there is pretty much dead for the most part, but there's some new raids. You know, the Scarlet Enclave is a brand new raid at cap level that I guess people are still doing, but it's starting to see some sort of a drop-off. Then we have the progressive version of Classic, okay? So, you know, you guys got to really pay attention here. This is the version of Classic that came out in 2019. It then progressed into the Burning Crusade Classic, which then progressed into Wrath of the Lich King Classic, which then progressed into Cataclysm Classic, which is now progressing into Mists of Pandaria Classic later on in the summer. I think right now it's June 16th. I think Mists of Pandaria Classic is coming out towards the end of July. With the pre-patch starting on July 1st, I'm pretty sure on that. It's 2 weeks from now. Pre-patch is starting for Mists of Pandaria Classic. Then you have Hardcore WoW. Hardcore WoW used to be played on just regular Classic WoW with an add-on that made it so that your character only had one life, and if you died, you had to re-roll. Blizzard adopted this idea into a full version of World of Warcraft Classic, which is an actual game mode. Hardcore WoW is one life WoW. You have two options. You can play the character with just one life and play the game as it is, or you can check a box when creating the character called self-found, meaning that you cannot trade or use the auction house or anything like that. You can still group with people, but your character is essentially self-found. All your gear you found or crafted, yada, yada, yada. So that's also an option. Then, last November, after Warcraft Direct, we got World of Warcraft Classic Anniversary. Anniversary are fresh servers that came out for vanilla WoW, Classic WoW, with a little bit of changes like dual talent specialization, which is a great change. And those servers will be progressing to TBC most likely later on this year. They're currently in the Zul'Gurub phase. We're waiting for the start of the AQ phase, which really should have come by now, but we're not sure. Maybe tomorrow on Tuesday we'll get some sort of announcement with that starting. So what's left on there is the AQ phase and the Naxxramas phase. Now on these anniversary servers, there is no decay for ranking in PvP. So essentially, the best way to gear your character is to rank 14 in Alterac Valley. Pretty much nobody is doing Warsong Gulch or Arathi Basin. You hit level 60 and then you do hundreds of hours of Alterac Valley to get your rank 14 gear, you know, your Grand Marshal, your High Warlord stuff, and then you'll be pretty much full bis and ready to pretty much log off until Naxxramas comes out or AQ. You need to go get your trinkets or rings or whatever you need to get from there. So that is very much alive. Now I'm going to take you guys into a little bit of a dive into the populations on each version of these games. Let me switch my screen over. Okay, so right now we're looking at the population for Cataclysm Classic, which is the version of Classic that's moving to Mists of Pandaria next month, into that next expansion. So what you're seeing here is Ironforge Pro data, and this data is basically raid logs. So this is only tracking the players who are in raids, and those raids are being recorded on Warcraft logs. So these are not the exact numbers, but it gives us a good understanding of how alive the endgame PvE scene is. So this is Cataclysm. We're at 85,000 raid logs. It's been on a slow decline for the past few weeks, but that's just because the new expansion is coming, you know, in the next couple of months here. So you're gonna probably see this rise back up to probably around here. You're gonna see around, I would say, between 100 to 200k raid logs when Mists of Pandaria launches, right? So this is just a healthy population. This is basically everyone who enjoys that version of the game and moving into the next expansion. I call it Progressive Classic. This is where you would go for that. If you want to go play Mists of Pandaria, this is where you'd go. You'd go to Cataclysm Classic. Moving on over to the seasonal version of WoW. This is Season of Discovery, the second season that Blizzard has ever put out. Season of Discovery started off really, really strong with 500,000 raid logs at its peak, down to a mere 53k raid logs currently. But this is just because Season of Discovery is now in its end phase. They're pretty much stopped development on it. You can still go play it. You can still go level a character, check out all the new spells, abilities, the new raid. The Scarlet Enclave is pretty cool. And if you kill the first boss in the Scarlet Enclave, you actually get a free level 85 character boost for Cataclysm Classic, or Mists of Pandaria Classic, as it's going to be in the next couple of weeks. So they kind of tied those two together, which is really cool. Season of Discovery was a lot of fun. You know, kind of sad to see it dying at this point, but it did just have its largest drop-off in a really long time, from pretty much 70,000 raid logs down to 50k. So SOD is in its ending phase right now. I wouldn't suggest going over there unless you really, really want to try out that new raid, and then, you know, maybe do that. But definitely don't go here for a long-term option if that's what you're looking for. Then we have Classic Era, right? These are the people who stayed on Classic Era from 2019. Like I said, 2019, World of Warcraft Classic came out. We went through all the phases. The Naxx phase came. Everyone is sitting in that Naxxramas phase, like right before we went into the Burning Crusade. So these servers are locked there. You will be in that Naxx phase. You can start on them right now. There is a healthy population, very small, but the people who play there, you know, really enjoy it. So there is a community on there, but you've got to understand that this server is heavily about like GDKP rating. There's very few guilds running like guild runs on Classic Era. You could find them, there are some, but if, you know, if you want to just jump in and do GDKPs and gear out that way, this is going to be the option for you. And then we have the Classic Anniversary servers, like I was talking about before, that just came out back in November of last year. Now, these have a very healthy population. There's a lot of people leveling out in the world. This is classic vanilla WoW with a couple quality of life additions, right? Like Black Lotus has been fixed on here. We have dual talent specialization on here. And these realms will be moving to the Burning Crusade after Naxxramas. As I said before, we're currently in Zul'Gurub. We're waiting on the AQ phase, waiting on the Naxx phase, and then you'll be in the Burning Crusade. So if you want to play the Burning Crusade, this would be the place for you to go. You'd be leveling your characters, prepping. You can rank in Alterac Valley, get your rank 14 gear. Like I said before, they got rid of the decay. So basically all it is just a time sink now. You just have to invest that time, hit your thresholds every week, and you can rank up to rank 14 and get your Grand Marshal, High Warlord title, and that gear. There's a very healthy raiding scene on here. Now, GDKPs are banned on these servers, so there are no GDKP raids. It's all guild-run raids, mostly soft res, loot council, stuff like that. But there's a very healthy raiding population on these servers, so I play on Night Slayer. I have 3 level 60s over on there. You cannot create Horde and Alliance on the PvP server on the same account. If you wanted to play Horde and Alliance on the PvP realm, Night Slayer, you know, in the US, you would have to have 2 separate accounts. So make sure whatever you choose, you're choosing wisely, because you can't have both factions on that one server if you only have one account. But if you're looking for somewhere to go level and prep for something that does have a future and maybe join a raiding scene or do some PvP at endgame, you know, Anniversary would definitely be the move for you. But anyways, guys, I just wanted to break it down. I've been getting a lot of comments lately, people asking me, hey, man, I'm trying to come back to WoW. There's like 7 different versions. I have no idea where to go. You know, there's a lot. So I try to do my best to simplify it and break it down for you. We don't have numbers for Hardcore. Hardcore is tied into Anniversary. So if you're rolling on Hardcore, you'd be going on the Doomhell realm if you're in the US. That's the new Anniversary Hardcore realm. And yeah, there's a lot of people leveling on there. I don't, I'm not big into the hardcore scene, so I'm not sure how the end game is. I know that they are dropping Oni buffs and ZG buffs and stuff, so people are raiding on there. But not as many as you would think because it's hardcore. Not many people make it to 60, farm their pre-bis, and then raid without dying, right? There's 1,949 raid logs on Doomhell. So yeah, those are your options, guys. I hope this helped you out a little bit. If it did, like the video, subscribe to the channel, jump over to my Twitch, twitch.tv/hammerdance. I stream Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern time. But yeah, that's it. I know it's very confusing, so I hope this helped you guys out. So thank you all so much for watching and listening in. I'll see you all in the next one.